Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. In this video, we're just going to talk about a simple little tensor ring that we make called the grounding ring. Okay, this is the smallest size we make the grounding ring. We also make it in a size that's double that size and also even bigger. But this is the smallest size, right? Made with a 12 gauge copper wire that is twisted in using a drill cut to a specific measurement, which we call a qubit, that facilitates tensor technology, a tensor field, and then brace together the two ends to create a closed loop, right? A circle. This ring, this tensor ring, now becomes a physical anchor to facilitate etheric energetics, which means frequencies. And when we're talking about energetics, we're talking about frequencies. We're talking about the baseline of the fabric of reality, okay? Because everything's energy, everything's frequencies. We are also talking about genes, gene expression, genetics, DNA, okay? So you can see how this little thing here is very connected and relevant to, yes, how reality is forged, but also wellness and vitality of you. In regards to your potential, your capabilities, which we can simply is down to gene expression. Okay, so I'm here to tell you right now that this little grounding ring, this little ring, holds far more potential than anything you could obtain through diet. You know, let me give you an example. I quite often give this analogy and example to my clients that about how important it is to facilitate our natural state. And why I'm bringing up our natural state, which is a state of being in association to this ring, is that why we call it the grounding ring is it gets you to the door. And what I mean gets you to the door, it gets you to the heart. And when we facilitate our natural state, we facilitate an open heart. And why that's so important in regards to grounding, okay, why it's so important to facilitating your natural state is because it's a realization that at the core of who we are is an energy, is a soul consciousness that is facilitated through an open heart. Okay, so why there are so many people out there that, you know, are so engaged, invested with diet, with supplementation, taking vitamins, those sorts of things. One is because we embody the mentality of lack, which doesn't come from the heart, comes from the mind, which is really a belief structure that if there's something going on with our health, it means because we're lacking something. And that's just a belief structure from a belief in the mentality of lack. And mentality does not support us at all in any means whatsoever possible. In fact, the word mental comes from the word mentality. So we see, you know, mental health issues, mental illness is an epidemic out there. And that is a clue or a hint that the way that we are taught to perceive and process reality from mind, from mentality, from thought, right, that uses mentality, doesn't support us at all in any way whatsoever. Okay. Why? Because it doesn't facilitate our natural state, a state of being. And in that state, we're not grounded, right? Hence the grounding ring, right? And of course, you know, there is a lot of science now with taking off our shoes, going barefoot, most nerve endings on the sole of our foot, right? I'm going to emphasize the word soul because that connects to our soul consciousness. And also the light that we perceive outside of ourselves that makes life here, the sun, which is also called soul in Latin, right? They're all connected. And we absorb that negative ionization when we go barefoot on the earth, which is this aspect of grounding and earthing. Now, where we can take that even further, where we call that super grounding, is when we get into this form of technology that not brings universal energy or energy that exists outside of you. It's facilitating more of you, your infinite potential and capabilities, through getting that heart open. Because, from the human perspective, we believe Earth is home, and that's we are birthed as the human on Earth. But we predate that. If we want to believe in the whole illusion of time, we are infinitely and authentically the soul. And the soul, how we got here before we were even birthed, right? When the embryo, right, which is forming the interface, right, the rental, which we call a body for a lifetime. It's not until the heart's formed that us as the soul come through. That's what we authentically are. And hence, we get facilitated through this vessel to have a lifetime by the heart. That's home. That's the greatest grounding home will ever experience. And in fact, it's the home that we carry with us. But for a majority of people, the home they carry with them but never realize and experience that comfort, that ease that an open heart facilitates. Why? Because we're conditioned as humans to always be up in the head, thought, mentality, which then steers our ship. Okay. So quite often, coming back to this analogy, I'll quite often go and say, hey, you could eat the most cleanest diet, right? Eat the most nutritious food when they bring a compartmentalized analytical profile of what a superfood or a substance has in it, which is all mind as well, right? We're perceiving it from mind, we perceive it in a cerebral, analytical, compartmentalized way, which is looking at the parts without seeing the whole. It says all the things we need, right, on a nutritional profile. But if we are not providing our natural state by an open heart and being in the heart and getting away from here, that the cleanest diet won't save you, right? Because you got to realize, yes, you're putting that food substance in the body, but if your natural state's not supporting a digestive system to break it down and assimilate it, right, to allow that to go in one end and out the other end, and during that transition, the body then absorbs the nutrients, which the nutrients isn't the food. Your body doesn't hold on to your food. In fact, the food never goes in the body. It goes down a one long tube, which is the digestive system. And in fact, if there is a break in the wall of that tube, which we call leaky gut, then you're in big trouble. You can get really sick and die, which is food actually getting in the body. Okay. You're absorbing what nutrients are at their core. It's frequencies, it's energy. That's what we want. This illusion that we need these physical things, it's an illusion. Okay, based on, again, structures, belief structures, seeing is believing. Well, with our visible sight, we see 0.00035% of reality. So, and that's a scientific fact, if you want to go and search it. That states that we can't believe in what we see. Right, so let's throw away that belief structure, seeing is believing. Okay, in fact, a lot of people, are dependent on things that can't be seen. Wi-Fi, for example, right? And also, we get into this mind mentality aspect, right? Which again is not providing our natural state, right? And so we're limiting our approach all the time through those means. Okay. And in fact, when we upper mind thought mentality, we overwhelm our nervous system. We know that effect on the adrenals, right, and secreting cortisol, which is known as a stress hormone. And we know when that is, pumping out a lot of cortisol, then certain systems in our body just shut down, including our digestive system. So we're not going to be in any state to take on that stuff anyway. And also, we're going to promote a state of congestion, not flow the digestive system, so that transition from food going in and food coming out slows down, meaning things sit in the body for too long, which is, and build up and accumulates, which is the very definition of toxicity. And toxicity is illness. And what we see with illness is either a congestion, obstruction, or blockage to flow. And why is that? Because we're not facilitating a natural state. So that's way more important than any food that you're going to reach out, any nutrient, any supplement, any vitamin. Okay. What does this ring do? Gets you to the heart, promotes you to facilitate your natural state. Okay. So So quite often use that example, right? What would I personally choose? The cleanest diet without providing my natural state, or a takeaway option, right? That is deemed loaded with fats, loaded with sugar, but having your natural state. Well, I do this every day. I choose natural state. Okay. Since I've got into facilitating my natural state, right? Because for me, I'm a reality coach, right? I've been, realizing what reality is built upon, the fabric of reality, how it's forged, right? And through understanding who we authentically are, it helps me to differentiate what we're not. Okay. And that whole journey for me facilitated through my intuitive means that, I work on clients all around the world every day. Certain measurements we call qubit measurements, right? Which we then use to make the tensor rings, right? To facilitate, become a physical anchor for these energetics that bring forth more of ourself, and which have realized these products into physical reality, right? To help people facilitate more of themselves, provide that natural state, which is getting that heart open, which we could call as a super grounding, hence the grounding ring. So, quite often in sessions, I've got a chart system which we call the broadcasting system, which is a self-empowered healing system, which you can actually purchase on my product store at trulyholistic.net/products. It's fantastic. I call it a transitional system because it allows you to continue, the wisdom, the knowledge you have found in the physical realm of, essential oils, supplementation, superfoods, medicinal herbs, even crystal energies, digestive enzymes, hormone replacement therapy. But it teaches you to apply it energetically, right? And what I mean by that, not becoming attached and dependent to taking the physical substance. It's getting into the means that the baseline, the origin of those physical products are frequencies, simply frequencies. So within that system, it teaches you to intend its unique energy signature, which is the consciousness of that substance, whether it's a vitamin, whether it's a mineral, whether it's a crystal energy, essential oil, a superfood, medicinal herb. For example, on the supplement chart in that system, which I use a lot in sessions, there's a supplement called betaine. Okay. And we use betaine and also another substance called MSM, which is short for methyl sulfonylmethane. And both of them are very similar because they both support the body's ability to cleanse and detoxify itself, right? So we quite often use them as natural anti-inflammatories, and they're quite often known as that in the supplemental world, especially MSM. And what they both have in common is they're both, which this is the chemistry of it, they're both methyl donors, right? So, for example, methyl sulfonylmethane, MSM, the first M of that abbreviation means methyl. It's a methyl group. Same with the betaine. And what that means is when we intend the energy signature of that into a part of their digestive system or part of the body, what we're doing is we're supporting the body's natural pathway of cleansing, detoxifying itself, which means to provide flow to an area that was once congested, right? So how does, that connects to what we were just talking about, right? This aspect of flow, this aspect of, your natural state provides a state of flow to the body instead of congestion, accumulation, and toxicity. And what that natural pathway is for the body is called methylation, right? That it binds to certain things in the body. It knows that it shouldn't be there to support the body's ability to purge it out of the system, right? Out of the body. So we use those supplements a lot. And when we intend those in a session, quite often people go, do I need to go and buy the supplement? Because you got to understand they're coming from a mentality that, you've energetically intended it, but, they are programmed in taking the physical, right? Like we all did originally. Now, we've got to realize that, because when we take a physical supplement, okay, and we could approach this in any food substance that we're going to orally take on, that first of all, before we get that food source, that supplement, that superfood, there's been a lot of people involved with that product before you go and buy it, right? The people that have grown it, harvested it, processed it, packaged it, marketed it. And of course, by the time you get that product, how much of the medicine of that original product, right, what we could say is still there, right? Because it's embodied all these other energies from all the people that have been involved with, right? Human involvement. And then second, then what's your capabilities? What's the state of your digestive system's ability to break it down and assimilate it? And then eventually some of that substance will get to the area you want it to have an effect, right? So you can see all the variables in play. Now, when we energetically intend betaine to a specific area, it doesn't have to go through a digestive system. It doesn't have to rely on a digestive system state or an ability to break it down and assimilate it. And plus, we're sending it 100% of its consciousness, 100% of its medicinal value, because it's had no human involvement added to it or embodied to it. It's so more powerful. The only times when you won't experience that power is not because of the process or because of the power of its authenticity, its energy, its consciousness. It's a unique energy signature. It's the individual putting boundaries and limitations based on their belief system and their belief structure. Always is. As I say, the mind, thought, mentality are in play to limit, not expand your horizon, but to limit. Okay, this is why we want to get people grounded, getting into their heart, because when you get your heart more open, you're now facilitating infinite possibility, which means infinite possibilities to remedy a problem or unwanted symptoms that you're experiencing or whatever you're trying to achieve. Okay, this little ring. Okay. Why I wanted to make this video was because I just feel like a lot of people that invest in Tensor technology, the light technology, the products that we make here at Truly Holistic, they don't understand how infinite in their capabilities and potential they are. Okay, so I wanted to do this video, right? Because, when I changed my belief structure, right? When I allowed this infinite potential and capability of Tensor technology, light technologies, products that we make at Truly Holistic, I was able to drop every supplement I took. Right? I don't take any supplements anymore. I used to take all the supplements in the world. Man, it was a expensive endeavor, very conflicted and chaotic endeavor because I didn't know what worked and what didn't. And it was all based on compartmentalization, analysis, and cerebral viewpoint of my life, looking at it, which is all mind, which again doesn't provide my natural state. So I'm immediately providing an environment for my body that works against it, doesn't support it at all. So, and a lot of people that are out there, and they come to a session with, hey, I've tried this, I've tried that, didn't work, it gave me a little bit of benefit here. It's the realization that perhaps those things weren't the problem. It's us becoming aware of our belief structures, because we can put up walls and not provide an allowing of things to actually help or work for us. That's what I've become familiar of through myself, but also as a reality coach and a quantum intuitive healer. So a lot of the times it's not about that thing we're bringing in. It's becoming more aware of how we apply ourselves. Are we putting up walls in front of ourselves to not allow that very thing that we are now buying or we are going to ingest to actually do what it can possibly do for us? and you know, as I say, when you use these products, they are facilitating not things outside of you, but more of you. Okay, so very important to understand that. So you know, it's essentially meaning here then you'll never obtain a level, you know, through an oral supplement in comparison to facilitating its consciousness, as I mentioned. That's why I love the broadcasting system, why we call it a transitional self-empowering healing system, that you still take on the knowledge, understanding in the physical realm, but now taking that extra step to apply it energetically. And that's just going to get you on your way, because all of a sudden that's going to become a realization of your infinite potential and capabilities yourself, which is a very self-empowering process for yourself, because you realize that it wasn't about things outside of it, it was all about me the whole time. Okay. So this is a very simple ring. It only costs like 30 New Zealand dollars. It's very inexpensive. And you know, if you're new to technology, just start small. You know, all you'll do with this is you just put it around a cord and you just wear it around your neck, right? And as long as it's on the body, right, it's in your field, it's working on your energy field 24/7, as long as you're wearing it. So it's very easy, right? Because a lot of things, when we take up things, dietary or certain things, it can be confusing, can be conflicting, can be very hard. It's you got to be disciplined. With this, you just have to wear it. Okay, you just have to learn about it. You have to allow it, surrender it, and forgive. So you're just, there's no barriers in place at all, and you're allowing it to drop into your heart. You become self-empowered. You become aware that this is all about you. It's not about this mentality of lack of needing things outside of you. It's now about you. And all of a sudden that's going to kick you, forge you into a road or a path that is a path that you've never walked down before, or the majority of humans have never walked down before. Okay, and what I mean by that is you're changing this network or pathway from a mind mentality thought one to now a heart and feel one. And the heart and feel one is now supporting you because it's facilitating you to provide your natural state, which we call a state of being, that then when you do, if you choose to bring things in, whether it's supplements, whether it's a change of diet, then you're providing the very environment that's going to allow those things to gain traction and also support you on your journey, whether it's through wellness or vitality or just spiritual growth or just to become empowered. It's never should be diet, food, and supplementation first and then that. As I say, you're only going to gain traction when you support and provide your natural state. And this is what these technologies, Tensor Technology, Light Technology, the products that we provide at Truly Holistic are about. It's about providing your natural state first, right? So because there's no point buying things, there's no point investing a lot of money into things that are going to have either at the best, a limited influence or effect on you, or no influence at all on you. And you're spending all your time, all your effort, all your money on that thing, just to lose further hope in regards to trying to remedy that health problem that you're going through. So, so this is the grounding ring. Go and check the product range that we have at the product store on my website, which is trulyholistic.net/products/ go and check it out. I also offer reality coaching, quantum intuitive healing as well for all things and everything. Because as I say, the baseline, everything, it's frequency, it's energy. You can book an appointment at trulyholistic.net/appointments/ until next time, catch you later. Now, one thing I will mention before I stop here, please remember to like the video. It really helps us. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't. You enjoy this content and would like more, push the notification bell, which will notify you when the next video drops. Until next time, catch you later.